Okay, my friends, we are up to part I, it looks like. It looks like part I goes to, it's got a number of questions. Oh yeah, it's got 4 questions here. They're all fractions, it looks like, on this one. So it says, what fraction does 35% equal? Reduce it to its smallest denominator. Okay, 35%. So we talked about percent theory. 35% is 35 over 100. All right, so technically speaking, that's the fraction it equals. But we got to reduce it to its smallest denominator, and what that means is find out what numbers 35 and 100 have in common, which the first one that pops in my head is 5. So if I divide 35 by 5, I get 7, and if I divide 100 by 5, I get 20, and that is as far down as you can go, unless you want to start including decimals in the top and bottom, which I don't think anybody wants to do. So, okay. Next thing is 24 1/44ths. There's a lot of numbers that go into these numbers. So one that pops in, 12 is one of them. But the only reason I know that is because I know that there are 144 square inches in a square foot. If you don't know that, we can always start with 2. 2 goes into 24 12 times. And 2 goes into 144 72 times. So you can start with 2 and then keep going and looking for common factors. So 2 goes into 12 again 6 times. And 2 goes into 72 36 times. Okay, and at this point you might recognize, also 6 goes into 6 once and 6 goes into 36 6 times. So 24 1/44ths is just 1/6. Not so bad. Not so bad at all. All right. Yep, that's the last one we did, H. Then we got a whopper of a fraction here, 350 over 975. 350 9/75. Well, this is a great one because I can't think of anything fancy that goes into these yet. Maybe 175, but I'm not sure. I'm not even going to try that. So I'm going to start with 5 and just go from there. So I know 5 goes into both of them. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So 5 is going to go into 350 70 times. Okay, so that's that so far. I'm going to try, 5 has to go into this one. So 5 into 9 goes once, carry the 4. 5 into 47 goes 9 times, carry the 2. Okay, 195. Okay, so 5 can go into these numbers again. All right. So 5 goes into 7 once, carry the 2. That's going to be 14. 5 goes into 19 3 times, and carry the 4, 45, so that's 14 39ths. And that is as far down as we can go. Wow, that's crazy, 14 39ths. I would have never. I would have never. Okay, so that's that one. And, and now we've got a multiplication problem that we then have to, it's kind of a weird, 7/8 times 2/5. Okay. So I don't know if you remember before, we had a problem similar to this earlier. I forget which part it was. But when you multiply fractions like this, you can look across the diagonals for common factors, and there's one right here. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8 4 times. And then you just multiply across. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 5 is 20. Well, look at that! It's 7/20. It's the same fraction we had before. It's 30%. Or 35%, excuse me. That was kind of fun. Not bad, not bad. And then part J, I'm going to just run this together into part J, if that's okay. It says now divide 7/8 by 2/5. And it says provide 2 ways to answer the problem. Reduced and unreduced fractions. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means provide 2 solutions. Maybe it means provide 2 solutions, because I can't think of, I can think of 2 ways to answer it. So we're going to now take 7/8 and divide it by 2/5. And our son actually taught me something recently about how they've taught the kids how to do these kinds of problems. When you divide fractions, he calls it keep, change, flip. So what that means is when you divide by a fraction, you actually multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction. So you keep this fraction, 7/8. You change that to its inverse sign, which is multiplication, and you flip the second fraction, the divisor, you flipped it to the reciprocal. So now it becomes 7/8 times 5/2, which is equal to 35/16. So maybe this is what the instructions mean: reduced and unreduced fraction. That is unreduced. That is an improper fraction, as they call it, which I hate that name. I think there's nothing wrong with that fraction at all. But then you can also write it as a mixed number, which means divide the 16 into the 35. And 16 goes into 35 twice, and it's going to have 3/16 left over. And the reason it's 2 and 3/16 is, like I said, 16 goes into 35 2 times, which would be 32. And that gets us to 32, but then 35 has 3 left, so you have to take it 3/16. So 2 and 3/16. I'm guessing that's what is meant by 2 solutions. I guess. I hope. All right, my friends. I hope that kind of helped. If you need me, Marilyn or Shannon can get you in touch with me. Yeah, I just hope it helped. And I'm sure I'll see you at some point for dimensional analysis math and dosage problems in MA 110. Bye.